Till now, we have learnt about the differentiating male from female skeleton using skull, mandible, sternum, femur, pelvis, and sacrum. Now we are going to learn about the important indices or the morphometry for differentiating male from female skeleton. And the most important index is the sciatic index. This is the greater sciatic notch. This is the width of the greater sciatic notch and this is the depth of the greater sciatic notch. Sciatic index is nothing but the width of the greater sciatic notch divided by the depth of the greater sciatic notch times 100. You know that in male the greater sciatic notch is narrow and deep. In female it is shallow and wide. So in male the width is less and the depth is more. So overall the index will come out to be less as well. While in female the width is more and the depth is less. Width is more and the depth is less. So overall the index will come out to be more as well. So the sciatic index, it is less in male and more in female. Second is the ischeopubic index or the Washburn index. Here from the middle of the acetabulum, that is where the ilium, ischium and pubis meet, we take the length of the pubis and we take the length of the ischium, the length of the pubic bone and length of the ischium. We divide the length of the pubic bone by length of the ischium and multiply it by 100. This is the ischeopubic index. We know that the body of the pubis in female is larger. So obviously the length of the pubis in female is going to be larger as well. So the numerator is larger and the overall index is also larger. So the ischeopubic index is more in female than in male. Third is the sacral index. Here we take the anterior length of the sacrum and the transverse diameter of the sacrum. Anterior length and transverse diameter. We divide the transverse diameter of sacrum by the anterior length and then multiply it by 100. This gives us the sacral index. We know that in male the sacrum looks something like this and in female the sacrum looks something like this. That is, in male the anterior length is more and the transverse diameter is less. So the overall the index will come out to be less. While in female the anterior length is less and the transverse diameter is more. So the overall the index will come out to be more. So sacral index is more in female than in male. Next is the sternal index. Here we take the length of the manubrium and the length of the body of the sternum. We divide the length of the manubrium by the length of the body and multiply it by 100. This will give us the sternal index. We know that in male the length of the body is more. So the index will come out to be less because the denominator is more, the index will be less. While in female the length of the body is less, the denominator is less, so the index will come out to be more. So again sternal index is also more in female than in male. So till now we learnt about 4 indices: sciatic index, ischeopubic index or Washburn index, sacral index and sternal index. And in all 4 of these indices, they were more in female than in male. Now we are going to learn about 2 indices that are more in male than in female, starting with Chilotic index. So there's a line called the Chilotic line which starts at the end of pubic ramus and it passes till the iliac crest, and it is divided into 2 parts by the articulating surface between the sacrum and the ilium, or the iliosacral articulating surface. This is the iliosacral articulating surface. This is where the sacrum articulates like this, and this is the Chilotic line. The Chilotic line is divided into the pelvic part and the part which has the sacral articulating surface or the sacral part. So what you do is take the sacral segment divide it by the pelvic segment and multiply it by 100. This will give you the Chilotic index. Now you know that in male, the articulating surface for sacrum is longer and larger. So the sacral segment is going to be larger as well, and the overall index is going to be more. So Chilotic index is more in male than in female. Second is corporobasal index. Corporo means its body. So here you take the breadth of the first sacral vertebra and you take the transverse diameter or the breadth of the base of the sacrum. So you take the breadth of the first sacral vertebra and the breadth of the base of sacrum itself, and then you multiply it by 100. Now you know that in male, the breadth of the first sacral vertebra, the body of the first sacral vertebra is more than the ala itself. It is more. So the index will come out to be more as well. While in female, the breadth is less than the breadth of the ala itself. So the index will come out to be less as well. So corporobasal index is more in male than in female. So those were the 4, 5, 6 major indices that you had to know: sciatic index, ischeopubic index, sacral index, and sternal index. They all are more in female than in male. And chilotic index, corporobasal index, these two are more in male than in female. And if you want to know the individual numbers, here they are. You can see Washburn index, it is more in female. The sciatic notch index, it is more in female. The sternal index, it is more in female. The corporobasal index, it is more in male. The sacral index, it is more in female. And the chilotic index, it is more in male. All right.